Psycho sister faked being pregnant with my husband's baby just to destroy my marriage. Now everyone thinks I'm the monster for being upset and not wanting to forgive her and just let bygones be bygones. My sister faked being pregnant with my husband's baby, and somehow I'm the one everyone's mad at for not wanting to just forgive and forget. I have been married to Sean for 6 years. We've had a rough year between fertility treatments, financial stress, and just the general pressure of life. We haven't been at our best. But even when things weren't perfect, I never doubted his loyalty or love. That's why what happened has completely ripped the floor out from under me. My sister Erica has always been a lot. We didn't grow up in the most stable home, mainly because our mom was all over the place, emotionally and financially, and I ended up being the one who took care of things. I was the one helping with bills at 17, the one calming down arguments, the one making sure Erica got to school when mom couldn't be bothered. Erica was always more emotional, impulsive, dramatic. She's one of those people who always seems to be in a crisis, and I spent years cleaning up her messes. As adults, we never really got close. I kept her at arm's length most of the time, but earlier this year, I let that guard down. Erica had just gotten out of a bad relationship with some guy she'd been on and off with for way too long. She was struggling, and part of me felt guilty for not being a better sister, so I started inviting her over more, letting her stay for dinner, offering support. Sometimes she'd vent to Sean if I wasn't around, or if she felt more comfortable talking to him about certain things. I didn't love it, but I didn't think much of it. She needed a support system, and Sean is a kind person. Then things started getting weird. She was texting Sean a lot too much, like updates about things that didn't matter, emotional rants. At first, I chalked it up to her leaning on whoever was nice to her, but I started feeling uneasy. I brought it up once, lightly, and Sean brushed it off as her being a bit too open and said he'd back off a bit. Still, it never felt like a big deal. Then came the moment everything detonated. My mom and aunt showed up to my house out of nowhere. No warning, no heads up, just a knock on the door, and both of them standing there with these unreadable expressions. I thought someone had died. Instead, they told me Erica was pregnant. And the father? According to Erica, it was Sean. I wish I could say I had some movie-worthy reaction, like collapsing or screaming, but I just stood there, number frozen. I could barely hear them over the ringing in my ears. When they left, I confronted Sean. He looked horrified, swore up and down that nothing happened. He was in total shock, said he had no idea what they were even talking about. That night, I couldn't sleep. My phone was blowing up. My mom texting me about how heartbroken Erica was. My aunt saying Sean needed to take responsibility. The next day, Erica sent me a folder of evidence. Screenshots of flirty texts, most without context. A blurry selfie of her and Sean at a party, his arm over her shoulder. She said that's when it happened. I didn't know what to believe. I wanted to trust my husband, but I was humiliated, broken. I told Sean to leave the house for a while, not because I decided he was guilty, but because I needed space. I needed time to breathe without everyone shouting their opinions at me. The fallout was immediate. My mom accused me of protecting him and turning on my own sister. Erica blocked me. My family acted like I was standing next to a man who'd confessed to everything, like I was gaslighting her by not kicking him out and changing the locks. They completely ignored the fact that I was the one whose life was being ripped apart in the middle of all this. I kept trying to make sense of it. If Sean was lying to me, if he actually did this, then I didn't know who he was anymore. But if Erica was lying, that would be something darker, something twisted, and I wasn't ready to face that either. What's eating me alive is that no one even gave me the space to figure it out. I wasn't allowed to process it. The second I didn't scream at Sean or post about how betrayed I was, I became the bad guy. Like my grief wasn't public enough. Like I didn't play the part they needed me to play. Now everyone is telling me I'm being cold, that I should just forgive and move on because Erica is in a vulnerable place, and Sean didn't deny being emotionally close to her. But the facts aren't lining up. There's no real proof, just vague screenshots and a narrative that makes no sense when I actually think about it. But pointing that out makes me unsupportive. I don't know where to go from here. I haven't made any big decisions yet. I don't know if I can ever look at either of them the same way again. And honestly, I'm exhausted from trying to play it calm while everyone treats me like I'm the problem. If Sean's lying, then yeah, I feel like the biggest fool alive. But if Erica's lying, Then my sister just tried to burn my entire life down, and my family helped her strike the match. I don't even know how to explain that level of betrayal. And if it is a lie, then why? Why would she do this to me? Update 1. It's been about a week since I last posted. I wish I could say things are clearer now, but honestly, they're just messier in a different way. Sean moved out the day after everything blew up. He packed a bag and went to stay at his friend Kyle's place. I didn't scream or throw anything, I just told him I needed space and didn't want him in the house until I could figure out what the hell was happening. He didn't argue. He looked devastated but respected it. In the days that followed, my phone basically became a tool of torture. My mom and aunt kept calling, texting, then guilt-tripping me when I wouldn't instantly cut Sean off for violating my sister. The story flying around was that Erica was manipulated, possibly even coerced, and that I was in denial because I didn't want to admit I'd been married to someone capable of that. I wasn't being a strong woman. I was choosing a man over my sister. Apparently me asking for proof before setting fire to my entire life made me the villain. I felt like I was drowning in opinions but starving for facts. Everyone was choosing sides based on a half-baked narrative and some blurry screenshots, so I decided to do what no one else seemed interested in doing. I started actually looking for answers. Sean had left his iPad behind. It was synced to his phone. I know how that sounds. But I wasn't snooping. I was trying to get some clarity. If there was something damning, I wanted to see it with my own eyes. If he was innocent, I needed to know that too. I went back through months of texts, DMS, app notifications, anything I could pull. Nothing even remotely matched what Erica had shown my mom. Her screenshots had timestamps, so I cross-checked them. One of the flirty messages she claimed he sent her, the timestamp lined up with a couples therapy session Sean and I had together. I double-checked our shared calendar, my notes, even a photo I took that day in the waiting room. There was no way he was texting her during that. That was the first real crack in Erica's story. I found more. One of the other screenshots showed Sean asking if she was wearing that dress for him, supposedly sent the night of my birthday dinner. Except I had Sean's full call log from that night, and he spent half of it trying to coordinate with the restaurant and pick up the cake my coworker had made. There was zero time unaccounted for, let alone to sneak off and send flirty messages. It didn't stop there. I searched for the photo she'd shown my aunt, the one where Sean had his arm around her at some party. I found the original. It was at a family BBQ. I remembered that day vividly. My uncle had taken that photo, and Sean was literally reaching past Erica to grab a plate. The camera angle made it look like something it wasn't. I remembered it because I laughed about it when we got the pictures back. So none of it added up, but that raised another question. Why would she do this? What kind of person fabricates this whole mess, and to what end? I couldn't wrap my head around it. I didn't want to believe she was just that cruel. I thought maybe she had a breakdown or something, but even that was hard to accept. Sean didn't know what I'd found until I called him and asked if he had ever messaged Erica anything even remotely flirtatious. He sounded exhausted. Said number, asked if I believed him yet. I didn't answer. The next day, I got a letter from a lawyer. Not for me, for Erica. Sean had hired someone to formally request a paternity test once the baby was born. That letter shook up the entire family group chat. Erica called it a threat, said it was re-traumatizing. She refused to comply, saying Sean was trying to scare her into silence. But when I asked for a due date or even the name of her doctor, she went radio silent. That's when people slowly started messaging me not to apologize, but to hedge their bets. My cousin Sarah reached out privately. She said she was starting to feel like things didn't add up either. Apparently, Erica had hinted at the pregnancy on Instagram weeks before even telling my mom. She'd posted a cryptic story with some vague caption about the next chapter and a photo of a baby blanket. Sarah thought it was odd then but didn't question it. Now she was questioning everything. I brought this up to my mom, thinking maybe she'd finally start to see that something wasn't right. She doubled down, told me I was grasping at straws to punish Erica and that pregnancy hormones make women act irrationally. I asked what excuse she had for refusing a paternity test, and my mom just said, "You don't understand how traumatizing that is for a woman." No matter what I said, she had a reason for why Erica couldn't be expected to prove a single thing she was claiming. Meanwhile, I was still living in limbo. Sean was in a holding pattern, waiting to see if I'd believe him enough to fix things, but not pushing. And me? I was stuck between anger and grief. anger that this mess was still playing out like some twisted play, and grief that no one except maybe Sarah seemed to care about what this was doing to me. What hurt the most was realizing how quickly my family was willing to throw me under the bus. They didn't even want to consider that Erica might be lying. That tells me a lot about how they see me, about how little they think of my judgment. I've never claimed Sean was perfect, he's not. We've had our struggles, especially this past year, but nothing in our history, nothing in his behavior, made me think he was capable of what she's accusing him of. And now that I've dug into the details and seen how none of it adds up, I'm leaning more and more towards something I didn't want to face, that my own sister tried to destroy my marriage with a lie. And worse than that, it might be working. Sean's lawyer is advising him to keep all communications documented. Erica hasn't responded to the letter. My mom won't even discuss the paternity test, and I feel like I'm living in a fog of denial. Not mine, but theirs. They want this to be real so badly, they're ignoring every sign that it isn't. I'm not ready to say what's going to happen with my marriage yet. We're not there, but I know one thing for sure. I'm not apologizing for wanting the truth, and I'm not going to play along with a lie just to keep the peace. Update 2, I didn't even get a call. Erica sent a group text. That's how she chose to announce she lost the baby. The message was dramatic and over the top, some long paragraph about grief, trauma, how she was trying to heal. Attached was a photo of an ultrasound. It looked familiar, but I couldn't place why at first. A few hours later, it hit me. I reverse image searched it out of sheer instinct, and sure enough, it was from Pinterest. Not a single detail had been changed. She didn't even bother cropping out the watermark in the corner. I stared at my screen for a solid 10 minutes. My hands were shaking. All the air left my lungs. I felt a mix of rage and complete numbness. I sent it to Sean, and he just replied with, "I knew it." Not smug, not relieved, just tired. We both were. This wasn't some shocking twist. It was confirmation of what we both quietly started to believe, but didn't want to say out loud, because the fallout would be worse than the lie. I told my mom. She immediately shut down, said Erica was just too emotional to take her own ultrasound picture. That grief does weird things, that I needed to stop analyzing everything like a detective, and just be there for my sister. I asked if she had even seen Erica pregnant, heard a doctor's name, a real appointment, anything. She said she wasn't going to interrogate her child while she was clearly hurting. That's when I stopped trying to explain things to my mom. If someone shows you they don't want the truth, there's no point in throwing it in their face. I called Erica and asked to meet in person. She agreed. I met her at a cafe halfway between her apartment and mine. She was already there when I arrived, sunglasses on, looking like someone trying to get papped. The second I sat down, she launched into some speech about grief, about feeling alone, about how she just wanted someone to care about her the way Sean seemed to. I asked her straight up, was she ever actually pregnant? She didn't say yes or no. She started crying, said she felt so empty that she just wanted someone to notice her, that Sean was always so kind, and maybe too kind, that she didn't mean to hurt anyone. I told her to stop. I said if she was going to sit there and play victim, I was leaving. That if she wanted to come clean, really come clean, then fine. Otherwise, we were done. She said Sean led her on, that he gave her mixed signals, that she didn't fully lie, because there was something there. I got up. I left. That night I told Sean everything, every word. He was quiet. He just sat there for a while before telling me he wasn't sure we could come back from this. And I don't blame him. I kicked him out over this. I doubted him when it counted. I gave his accuser, the woman who happened to be my sister, the benefit of the doubt because I didn't want to believe someone that close to me would do something that twisted. But she did. And now I've burned my marriage down trying to pick a side in a war I didn't start. Sean's been civil, cold, but not cruel. He told me he doesn't hate me, but he's not sure he trusts me either. That he understands why I reacted the way I did, but it doesn't make it easier to accept. I asked him if he ever thought about coming back. He didn't say yes or no, just said he was tired, said he feels like the second he walked into my family, he got pulled into something he never had a chance of surviving. My family still hasn't admitted Erica faked it. My aunt reached out and said Erica's going through therapy now, and I should try being supportive instead of bitter. That everyone makes mistakes. That it's not about who was right or wrong anymore. It's about moving forward. They want me to sweep it under the rug because that's easier than facing the truth. They want me to act like it was a misunderstanding, a mental health spiral, some temporary delusion that we should all feel bad about but never talk about. Like my life wasn't torn apart by someone's lies, like I didn't lose trust in my husband, like Sean didn't have his reputation dragged and nearly destroyed. I'm supposed to pretend none of that matters now because the lie collapsed before it could last forever, because Erica got bored and decided to pull the plug before she had to go through with any more fake appointments or digital edits. But I'm not playing along. I didn't cause this. I didn't escalate it. I didn't throw the first stone. I responded to what I was told was true, and when I found out it wasn't, I didn't double down. I wanted honesty, clarity, peace. I tried getting that directly. I tried through my mother, through Erica, through the one cousin who still talks to me like I'm not the villain in this story. None of it worked. The part that hurts the most is realizing that, to some of them, this wasn't even about Sean or me. This was about Erica being the center of attention again, about everyone rallying behind her because she played the broken one so well. And now that her performance is over, no one wants to admit they clapped for the wrong side. My mom won't apologize. She won't even acknowledge that Erica lied. She keeps telling me to be the bigger person, that Erica's still family, that we've all made mistakes. But I'm not interested in playing peacemaker in a situation where the only thing keeping the peace is pretending nothing happened. I don't know where my marriage stands. Sean and I talk sometimes, but there's this wall between us now that didn't used to be there. A hesitance, a pause before every word. I think we both want to move forward, but neither of us knows how. And that scares me more than anything. What I do know is that I can't pretend anymore. Not with Erica, not with my mom, not with anyone who decided I was the problem because I didn't fall in line with the version of events they liked better. I'm not sure what happens next, but I know I'm done trying to heal wounds while the knife's still in my back. Update 3. It's been 6 weeks since everything unraveled, and I'm still picking up pieces that no one seems to believe were ever broken. The truth came out, clear as day. Erica lied. She faked being pregnant with my husband's baby, used stock ultrasound photos, and when caught, cried mental health instead of offering any real apology. And yet, somehow, I'm still the one being treated like the problem. After Erica's little miscarriage announcement and my confrontation with her where she had no real answers, just deflection, things should have died down. I thought the truth would speak for itself. Instead, I've been caught in this bizarre pressure campaign from my family. It's like they've all decided the real issue isn't what Erica did, but how I'm reacting to it. My mom started it. She's been calling and texting nonstop about this healing dinner she wants to host. According to her, it's supposed to be a chance for everyone to come together as a family and support Erica's recovery. I told her flat out I wasn't interested. There's nothing to heal when the person who set the fire won't even admit they lit the match. But she wouldn't let it go. She kept pushing the idea, framing it as some noble thing I should do for Erica's sake. It escalated fast. A couple of my aunts chimed in, messaging me to say they understood I was hurt, but that Erica was in therapy now, and I needed to be the bigger person. Apparently, her getting counseling is enough of a reason for me to just pretend none of this happened. One of them even had the nerve to say that my reaction was creating division in the family, not Erica's lie, not my mom's favoritism, me, the one who got lied to, betrayed, and publicly humiliated. Meanwhile, Sean and I have slowly been trying to talk things through. We went out for coffee a few times, just to talk without pressure. We've been honest about how hurt we both are. He admitted that my initial reaction asking him to leave cut deep, but he also said he gets why I needed space. We both agreed that none of this would have happened if the people closest to us hadn't let Erica run wild with a lie, just because it was easier than calling her out. We're talking about couples counseling now. Sean wants to try again, but he was firm about one thing. He can't rebuild with me if my family stays this involved in our lives. And honestly, I agree. I've spent my entire life being the one who keeps the peace, who smooths things over, who keeps quiet to avoid making things worse. But at this point, silence is just permission, and I'm done giving it. Then came the final straw. My mom asked me to meet her for lunch, just the two of us, or so she said. I thought maybe she finally wanted to really talk about everything, maybe even acknowledge what Erica had done, but I should have known better. I showed up, and Erica was already sitting at the table. My mom looked smug about it too, like she'd pulled off some masterful plan. Erica launched into this half apology that didn't even sound real. She didn't say she lied. She didn't admit she made everything up. Instead, she said she'd been mentally unwell and acted out and wanted attention because she was feeling alone. She started crying, talking about how hard things have been for her and how she never felt loved growing up. She kept saying she never meant for things to go this far. She never said, "I lied." She never said, "I'm sorry for what I did to you." And she definitely didn't apologize to Sean. I asked her straight up if she was going to take responsibility for the lie. She said she was in therapy now and working on herself. That was her answer. My mom just sat there nodding like that was enough. Like I was supposed to sit there and play along because Erica cried and said a few buzzwords. I got up and left. I didn't say anything. I didn't yell. I just walked out. 2 days later, I got a Facebook notification. My mom had posted a picture from the dinner they ended up having without me. Erica was there, smiling with my mom and 2 of my cousins. The caption said, "So proud of my girls for putting the past behind them." I wasn't in the photo. I wasn't even at the dinner, but that didn't matter. My mom decided the narrative and posted it for everyone to see. I've stopped responding to most messages now. Every time I try to draw a boundary, I'm made out to be heartless. My mom keeps talking about how Erica isn't in a good place and how I'm choosing a man over my own sister. She still won't acknowledge that what Erica did was calculated and cruel. She's clinging to this story where Erica is broken and misunderstood, and I'm the cold, angry sister who just won't move on. But here's the thing. I was ready to move on. Not with Erica, not with my mom, but with my life. I was ready to rebuild what Erica tried to destroy. I was willing to put the pieces of my marriage back together. But instead of support, all I got was guilt trips and gaslighting. So now I'm moving forward without them. I've started writing down every boundary I need to set just so I stop second-guessing myself every time one of them tries to push me. I've told Sean I'm willing to start again if he is, and that means drawing a hard line with my family. I'm not going to that dinner. I'm not answering those messages. I'm not pretending that therapy and fake apologies erase the damage Erica caused. I don't care if they think I'm bitter. I don't care if they say I'm overreacting. I'm done being the one expected to forgive while everyone else gets to forget. I'm not playing the role they wrote for me anymore. Final update. It's been a few months since I posted that last update, and I've done a lot of thinking. More than thinking, actually. I've done something I didn't think I was capable of, drawing a line and keeping it there. To start, Sean and I are still together. I know a few people will probably be surprised or even disappointed by that. And honestly, I get it. There were moments where I wasn't even sure I could look at him the same again, but we've been in therapy, both individual and couples, and it's helped us peel back a lot of the damage. I didn't jump into taking him back. It was slow, intentional, and filled with hard conversations, some of them brutal. But one thing that stuck with me throughout was how he never once tried to shift blame or tell me to just move on. He showed up even when I didn't have anything to give him in return. That meant something. That's more than I can say for my family. After that ambush meeting my mom set up with Erica pretending to be remorseful, I decided I was done making space for people who only ever made excuses. I let weeks go by without speaking to anyone in my family besides one cousin. I guess that set off alarms because not long after, the texts and guilt tripping started again. Same old song. Erica's in therapy. Why can't you be the bigger person? Or family is all we have. No one ever actually said the words, "she lied," or "we messed up." Just endless talk about moving forward, healing, unity, everything except the part where they actually acknowledge what she did and how they helped her ruin my life. Not just my marriage, but my peace, my trust, my sense of safety in my own relationships. That doesn't just get brushed over because someone lights a candle and says they're working on themselves. My mom sent me an Easter card addressed to my brave girl with a $50 gift card inside, like that was going to make up for her backing Erica from day one. I didn't respond. I threw it in the trash. Then she posted some quote on Facebook about how forgiveness isn't for them, it's for you, and I knew it was directed at me. That's all this has ever been about for her optics, pretending everything is fine as long as it looks fine. The truth, she's embarrassed. Not because of what Erica did, but because I'm not playing along anymore. I'm not sweeping it under the rug like everyone else. That makes me the problem in her eyes. But I've stopped caring how that makes me look to them. The real shift happened the first time Sean came back to the house for more than just a short visit. We sat in the living room and didn't even talk at first. We just sat in the quiet. It hit me that this silence without tension was what I wanted back. The ability to just be in my home without feeling like someone was still watching it fall apart. We had dinner, we cleaned up, we talked about our jobs, nothing heavy. And it felt normal. That was the moment I knew I wanted to rebuild, not just with him, but with myself. I made a list that night of everything I was done entertaining. Emotional blackmail disguised as family concern. Group chats where no one asks how I am, but floods the feed with Erica's latest drama. Messages that start with, "I know you're hurting, but..." Apologies without accountability. I don't need those people in my ear when I already know what's real. Erica faked a pregnancy with my husband to get attention and destroy my life. That's not just sibling rivalry, that's calculated. And the rest of them? They either fed into it, ignored the red flags, or jumped on the bandwagon to paint me as the bitter one when I didn't buy into the act. I didn't announce that I was going low contact. I just did it. I muted group chats. I stopped responding to vague check-ins. When I get asked if I'm coming to something, I just say, "No, I'm busy," even when I'm not. I don't owe them a breakdown of why I'm protecting my peace. The only exception I've made is for one aunt who finally reached out to say she was wrong. She admitted it, outright said she believed Erica too quickly, wanted to play savior, and ended up hurting me in the process. She didn't add a but, she didn't tell me to forgive. She just said she was sorry, and that if I ever wanted to talk, she'd be there. That's all I needed. Not a reunion. Just someone finally admitting the truth without trying to dress it up. As for Erica, I haven't said a word to her. I've blocked her on everything, and if I see her name pop up in conversation, I disengage. She can stay in whatever healing phase she wants. That's not my responsibility to monitor or encourage. She made a choice, several choices, and those don't get erased because she suddenly wants to be seen as a work in progress. Sean's back in the house now, full time. It still feels a little fragile sometimes, but we're building something better than what we had before. There's a level of honesty and vulnerability now that didn't exist back then, and even though there are scars, they're not bleeding anymore. They're reminders, not open wounds. The holidays came and went without any drama because I didn't go to any of the family events. My mom texted once on Christmas Eve asking if I'd reconsider. I didn't even open it until New Year's. I spent Christmas with Sean and a few close friends. It was quiet, no forced smiles, no fakeness. I didn't miss the noise or the stress. I didn't miss pretending. There's peace in silence when you know you chose it. I know not everyone will agree with how I handled this. Some people think family is everything no matter what, but I've learned that blood doesn't mean loyalty. It doesn't mean respect, and it sure as hell doesn't mean accountability. I'm not interested in being the bigger person anymore. That version of me got stepped on, gaslit, and used as a scapegoat. The version of me now, she's just trying to live in truth and not set herself on fire to keep anyone else warm. I don't forgive Erica. I don't forgive my mom. I'm not carrying hate with me, but I'm not going to lie to myself about what happened either. If that makes me dramatic or cold or bitter, fine. Better bitter than blind. Thanks to everyone who supported me through this mess, especially when I felt like I was losing my mind. Reddit really helped me see things clearly when everyone around me tried to convince me I was the one in the wrong. I don't know what's next. I'm just focusing on today, and today I feel okay.